are back with another episode. I'm really excited because we have Liz back again. Honestly, Liz, our episode got a lot of reaction, a lot of like what are they called? Interaction on Instagram. I was actually surprised that like so many people can't actually I'm not surprised so much people could relate, but I was shocked that we got so much like back and forth on it.
Well, well, I want to say surprised. I think surprise is a good word
Yeah.
because a lot of times, although we've gone through our challenges, right? It's when you're in it, you don't really think that so many people are going through what you experienced, and it's
Mhm.
not till you get the feedback, right? Oh, I happened to me, or it happened to me, or it happened to me, or I know someone that it happened to, and it's so rewarding because it's like you're able to help. You're able to help untangle emotions for people.
Yeah.
And you know what I would like if those people can actually join the support group.
I know, and it's what you always say, like, people will join when they're ready. And that's why I think I wanted to do this episode, is just because I want people to kind of get an insight that like it really is a safe place. Like, you know what I mean? And I can relate to being scared because it was I was worried. I was like, I don't know, like I'm just gonna join this support group with a bunch of random girls, like we just talk about our problems. Like I was like, I don't know about that. But like it's like you get like a sense of community that like it's just unmatched. Like, honestly, I wish they would join too. That's why I wanted to do this episode so we can actually talk about it and like maybe get some more people in. Like some of the comments we received were so deep, like on Instagram. Like people are just pouring their souls out and I'm like, wow. This is the conversation that I wanted to start, you know?
I think that's the part that I enjoy, people being vulnerable, because I think that it's just the hardest part, being vulnerable and being vulnerable to strangers.
Yeah,
You know,
that
no one wants to talk about their personal business or like things that hurt, you know?
exactly.
Um, so yeah, I would love to talk more about the support group and and hopes to bring in more women, because at the end of the day, it's not about recruiting women,
Mhm.
right? It's more about allowing people to feel that the support group is authentic, that we respect one another, and that it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to work through issues in community instead of working through them alone.
Mhm. And that's the one thing that I think that I enjoy about it the most is that like you realize that there's other people, like you're not alone, right? Like even though when you're going through it, like you said, you feel like you're the only one in the world who could be going through this, but like a lot of things that we talk about in the support group, like everybody can relate. Like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, that happened to me. Let me tell you my story." Like, and it's like almost like that's just like whoo, like it just takes a breath, like a weight off your back. Like, okay, like I'm not crazy. Like that's hard. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I
Yeah,
I
no,
love it.
exactly what you mean.
Mhm.
And it's funny because initially when I created the support group, I didn't think this through. You know, I went through my process, as you already know, and it for me it was, Lord, what lessons am I supposed to learn through this process, and what do you want to do through me?
Mhm.
And allowing myself to listen and to be obedient is what got me to where I am. And again, I created the support group. I didn't have women show up, like women, I have connections with doctors and nurses, and they would be referred to me.
Mhm.
And I would go months where I would show up and I would just show up by myself. And then I kept it's discouraging.
Oh.
I kept telling myself, Liz, keep sticking to it, stand firm in what you believe and what you want to do, someone will show. Someone will show. And the support group started in 2022. So I
Okay.
want to say the summer of 2022. Um, and I kept showing up. I kept showing up religiously. I was committed. And it wasn't until November of 2022 that my first mom showed up. And it was amazing. It's like getting something new and not knowing what to do with it, right? Because it's
I
like, damn,
can
I've been by myself for so long. Now it's happening. What am I supposed to do with this person?
That's so funny. I can just picture you sitting there, like, waiting for, like, the 10th week, and you're like, "Oh, hi."
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And for me, I didn't know what direction it was going to go. Like I said, when I started it, I didn't know what I was supposed to do with it.
Mhm.
And when I started, obviously, well, not obviously, but every time before the support group would start, I would pray and I would ask God just to speak through me. Um, and she was with me for a year before I started to get mommy number two and then
Mhm.
mommy number three. And I just kept telling myself, because I thought it was just going to be her.
Yeah.
And then I kept telling myself, you know what? Where there's one, there will be a multitude. And that's what kept me there.
Mhm.
And I am still like the support group. Now we have about 7 women, 8. And I'm still like, not in disbelief, but I'm still in that firm, you know, feeling of where there is 8, there will be a multitude.
Exactly.
So I'm just excited for what God is doing, because I give this all to God. This is all happening because God wants it. God wants to do something tremendous, and each and every woman that comes through the support group.
Mhm. What mommy number was I?
I think you were in mommy number 3 or 4.
3. Okay, 3 or
I think
4.
it was 3 or 4,
Oh, that's so
or
cool.
maybe 2. I can't remember. But you started in May of 23.
Yes.
So you weren't so
Oh,
far behind, because
yeah.
remember, the first mom was with me from
November.
November 22 to November 23. And
Exactly.
then I had
Yeah.
some moms show up. But and the crazy thing is this, right? You you have a support group, or any group for that matter, and you get excited because you have that person show up, but there's no guarantee that they're going to come back.
Mhm.
And it's not that they're not benefiting from the support group, it's that opening up and being vulnerable and having to relive the hard experiences that makes you not want to show up.
Yeah, it's hard.
I had one mom who told me, we went through the process together, and she told me, Liz, when I showed up to the support group and I noticed that I had to rehash everything I went through, I didn't want to come back. And
Mhm.
she did. She didn't come back, I think, for 2 sessions. And
Mm.
then she told me, she's like, I came back because if you can do it, and we went through this process together, I can do it. If you can
Yeah.
find strength in facing your challenges and your pain, I can do it too. And that kept her coming back. And I love that she shared that with me, because that just shows that without you realizing, people actually looking up to you. People
Yeah.
are actually leaning on your strength.
Yep. And that's honestly what kept me coming back. I'll tell you the truth, is it was you. It was your, like, perseverance, and, like, the fact that you just, like, always, how do I say it? It's just you always show up. That's the key thing. And I know, like, the struggle, to even take that step. You know what I mean? It's hard, like, before I sent you the message, I went back and forth for a while. I was like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And honestly, I don't even know if I joined the first week. Like, did I join the first time that you sent me the email?
I want to say you did.
I did? Okay, perfect. Well, I was nervous. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, damn, like, how's this gonna go? But like once I joined, that was it. I was like, oh, I love it here. I love it here. And like it's crazy to think like how close we've became over the support group. Like, you know what I mean? Like just even so much like listen, I don't know, nobody knows this like we're on the podcast, but like I flew out to New York to see Elizabeth, okay? For her Friendsgiving, okay? And I it was a crazy thing to do, but honestly, I felt so close to you. Like we've shared so much. Like you know what I mean? I'm like, I have to. This is my person.
And no, let's not leave out. You did not meet me in person before. All our connections, we met on social media,
Mhm.
and we just been connecting via, video.
Yeah.
So we've never met in person. You live in a whole different state, and you were like, you know
Country.
what? Oh, well, country. You're right, country. And then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take a flight and go. And a lot of people were trying to talk you out of it because it was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, you're crazy. You're going to a whole different other country to a person that you've never met in your life just through
Mhm.
video. Like, you don't know if she's a crazy woman.
Mhm.
And you still showed up for my Friendsgiving. And it was so much fun.
It
It
was.
felt
I
like
had to
we've known each other and met each other many times.
exactly. And but we have. I think that's what made me feel comfortable. I'm like, no. When people were like, "You're crazy," like you don't even know her. I'm like, I know her. She knows all my deepest, darkest fears, okay? Oh my gosh.
It's crazy. But
It
it's
is.
beautiful. You
It is.
know, one of the things that you had mentioned before, that people say that you can't build friendship after a certain age,
Mhm.
right? And that stood in my mind for a while because I never thought about it that way. I would just
Mhm.
be like, you if you come in, you come in. If you don't, you don't. And but for me, it was just like I'm just tired of meeting new people,
Yeah.
right? Because you got to get to know people. You don't know where, excuse me, where the people's intentions. And I was just tired of like getting hurt. But
Yeah.
that's life, right? Life, you get hurt, you meet people. Some people are meant to be in your life for a season. Some people are meant to stay in your life for a long time. And I feel like with you, and I've told you this before, we connect. And I
Mhm.
like that we can, when we say it's a team, like it's not only said, like it's felt. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And that for me is powerful. Because it's hard to find people that you can truly connect with. But one thing I've been noticing in my journey is that not everyone is at your level.
Mhm.
Not everyone is on the same page as you. Not everyone is going to w- walk or run up that ladder as quick as you.
Mhm.
And as harshly as it may sound, sometimes we just have to go, and people that we love, they're not going to be behind us, and
Mhm.
we're going to have to leave them behind, because if we stay back, then we don't hold on, or we don't work throughout the our purpose, what we're here for, right?
Exactly.
So which is why it's so important to like stick to people that want the same thing as you, that
Yeah.
want to prosper, that want to level up.
Mhm. And that's the good thing about the support group, right? Because essentially we're all there for the same thing. We all just want to heal like, from our trauma and it helps that we've all had similar traumas. One thing that I love about the support group that I'll mention as well is that there's so many everyone's on a different path, not what's the word, everyone's at a different point of the journey, but like whether you're past it or behind someone else, any information that you share is going to help the next person. Like, that's the best part. Like, um, it's just it's so beautiful, and for some reason, everyone in the support group, like, the journey, it's like we're all, like, right behind each other. Like, it's like one's here, one's here, one's here, one's here, and it's just like when you say, like, yeah, it's God that's doing it, like, it really is, you know? Like, he put us all in there together so we can all learn and realize that there is another side to this journey.
Yeah, and I always say that this is not my support group. It's
You do.
our support group. It's
Yes.
our support group. I show up the same way you guys show up. I share the same way you guys share. It's not where I'm just there listening. Okay, now who's next? It's not like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I personally really look forward to showing up to the support groups every week. I
Yeah.
can have a really tough week and nothing matters because I'm gonna show up for my girls, and we're just gonna come together and just like talk and share and like just leave the support group enlightened and enriched with new information and new energy.
Mhm.
There are women that have joined the support group that are super shy
Mhm.
and don't want to share. One of the things that I do encourage the ladies is to open up. If you show up to these things, even if it's not this support group or any support group, if you don't open up, there is no way that anyone will be able to help,
Yeah.
right? The only way to get help and for you to free yourself from like the heaviness of the things that you carry is to open up. But not just to anybody, like have people that you can trust to talk about these things. I always say, and this is my experience, this is my feeling, it doesn't have to resonate with anyone, but I always say you shouldn't have to talk about your business with everybody,
Mhm.
right? You should have three people you share your stuff to. That's your therapist, because if you don't open up, there is no way your therapist can help you. It's a support group. If you join a support group, like show up, be vulnerable. What you're going through, someone else may be going through, and what maybe someone else is going through, you may be going through. So, any advice, suggestions, anything can help, right?
Yeah.
And one friend, family member, whomever, like just that one person, because, but not just anyone, just someone that's going to really, really give you good advice and be neutral, not take sides, be neutral, and will help like find ways to push you forward, not just
Mhm.
to come and listen to you. Just you don't need anyone to listen to you. You need someone that's going to sit there and uplift you, give you words of wisdom, and it's not about just, I need to vent, I need to find somebody to talk to. No. And I feel like a lot of women do that. We're very emotional women, so we have to share. So we often talk too much.
Yeah.
And sometimes we talk to the wrong
Wrong
people.
people. Mhm. Not everybody cares about your problems. That's the thing. Like, yeah, you can talk to them, yeah, they'll listen, but are they gonna give you the best response? Are they gonna point you in the right direction? Even, like, I remember we had that spouse night and you were saying, like, when we talk to our friends about our spouses, about all the bad stuff we like, that's we don't have to do that. Because they don't owe our spouses anything. They are connected to us. So you have to talk to the people who are connected to you in the right reasons. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And
Who are going to
someone who's
point you.
neutral. Someone
Yeah.
who's neutral, because it's like, if I consider myself to be someone who's neutral. So
I
Sunny,
was going to say that.
if
You're
you
my
come
neutral
to me,
person.
yeah, so if you come to me and I already feel like you're my friend, and you tell me, you share something about your relationship, and and I know you, at first off, I can only advise on what you share. There's
Yeah.
two sides to the story, the person you're with and yours. So I can only share on what you share. And then but I'm not going to sit there and feel a certain way about your partner because you shared something that I didn't like he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just not, it's not the right thing to do. But
Mhm.
sometimes, again, when you don't go to the right people, they will judge your partner, they will use it against them. And, when at the end of the day, if you make up with your partner, now the other person, you don't want them around your partner because now there's beef, you
Yeah.
know? So, so it's so important to find someone who's neutral.
Mhm.
And there's not a lot of people that are like that. And that's not to say that people don't love you because they start feeling a certain way about your significant other or any type of relationship. It just means that there's a fine line, and sometimes we just need that. Okay, I need a neutral person, someone's that's not going to take this personal and can hear me, give me good advice, and
Yeah,
not feel any type of way because this happened or I experienced this.
exactly. And that's you. You're the neutral. Definitely. Um, what was the next thing I wanted to say? So, in the support group, um, how do you come up with topics? Like, do you plan it out or do you just wing it every time? Because every time
That's a
you
good
be having
question.
us, like, crying, telling our deepest, darkest secrets, and I'm like, "Did you plan this?"
And this is, I'm going to be so, I don't know how to be any other way but honest. You
Yeah.
know, um, a lot of times I don't know what to talk about. And sometimes I show up and I feel like I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. And I know that sometimes, you can get in your head
Mhm.
about things that you already know how to do. And I feel like sometimes that's what happens to me. And I think it happens to a lot of people. You're already gifted in an area, and then you get in your head so much that you try to talk yourself out of what you're gifted in?
Yep.
So for me, like I mentioned earlier, I pray. I
Mhm.
pray throughout the entire day, and I'm like, Lord, put a word in my heart that you want me to speak to these ladies. What is something that you would like the ladies to be impacted by? And
Mhm.
honestly, that's how I come up with my topics. And that's why a lot of times these topics are like deep, and it's just like,
Yeah.
dang, because I shock myself too sometimes. But that's what I do, and that's how I get my topics. And since we also started the book club, the
Yeah.
support group started the book club, and we've actually extended it out to the public,
Oh, yeah.
where we do one book a month for an
Yep.
entire year.
Mhm.
And also recently we've been talking about healing, right?
Mhm.
And what's the book that we were reading? I always forget.
What is it?
How to
How to
get
get
past what
past.
you'll never get over.
Exactly. That's it. Wait, I have it right here.
And I feel like reading that book has opened up. Yes. Reading that book has opened up a lot of doors of, of which I thought were permanently closed.
Yeah.
So, I know that one of the topics that we've been talking about is deep healing versus surface healing.
Mhm.
And again, that was something that I prayed about, and that's what I got. And why did I choose that topic? Obviously, I prayed about it. But another thing is that I know it made perfect sense. It was very fitting for the group because we're all going through a process.
Mhm.
We all want to find healing in some way, shape, or form. And
Exactly.
sometimes we stay stuck in healing, right? We think that not feeling anymore or forgetting about it or sweeping it on the rug, that means it's that we're good.
That we're
And
healed. Yeah.
that time goes by over and over. And since you don't think about it, you don't feel it, it's healed. And it's not. So, which is why I call it surface healing. So when I think of surface healing, I think of a countertop, right?
Yeah.
The countertop, and it's beautiful marble countertop. It's beautiful, it's clean. Um, and then like if something splashes on it, then you clean it up with a Bounty. And then what's underneath the cabinets is just a mess because nothing's organized. Nothing's
Yep.
organized, right? But you
Yep.
don't want to touch you don't want to touch the unorganized cabinets because
You
it's a
just
lot of work.
close the doors.
Yeah, you have to feel up to it to clean
Mhm.
it. You have to be in the mood. You have to be in the right energy. And sometimes it's never even touched.
Yeah.
So for me, deep healing has a deeper meaning, right?
Mhm.
And for me, I'm in a place where I'm just tired of like surface healing.
Mhm.
Because what happens is that you're carrying with these heavy baggages into every damn relationship you're walking into, every
Mhm.
single one of them. And you don't see how, when relationships fail, how they all connect. Because when you carry baggages, you bring it into one relationship. The baggage from that relationship, you bring into another relationship because you haven't healed. You haven't healed
Mhm.
through it.
Mhm.
So I don't know how many people like would agree with what I'm saying, but I feel like deep healing takes a lot of work, takes a lot of courage. It is not easy. And the first part to like deep healing is accept that you need to heal. It's
Mhm.
accept that you have a problem and there's nothing wrong with it. We all go through it. You know, and I don't, maybe it's the problem is not the right word, but we're carrying, we're carrying so many heavy, we're carrying heaviness. There's just, it's just a lot of heaviness are all around.
Mhm.
And we
Yeah.
have to like learn how to work through it.
Yep, and that's the hardest part because I feel like we weren't taught how. You know what I mean? Like nobody ever taught us how to work through our deep feelings. It's kind of like you get over it. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're taught. Like you're okay. Move on. Get over it. You know? It's like that goes back to the other book that we read. All the agreements, the agreements that we're taught. Um that we don't even realize we're following. Like because some people are very in tune with their feelings and emotions and they do the work and you know what I mean? But those are the people that are taught that. That's how they're brought up. That's how their parents instilled in them, like don't just personally though, I was taught suck it up. You know what I mean? Like suck it up, you're good, life goes on. And that's like the mentality that I've had since I was a little kid. And then by the time I was out in the world on my own, which was 16, that's the mentality I have. And like every time something happens, it's like, "Oh, it's okay. Out of sight, out of mind. Cover it up, push it down." And when you brought up that topic in the support group, I was like, "Dang. I got a lot of deep healing to do. I've been surface healing my whole life.
Yeah.
My cupboards are dirty, okay?"
That's
Oh my
funny. But
gosh.
it's so true. So let's, the name of the book that we read was The Fifth Agreement.
The 4. The 4,
Is it?
right?
Yeah, actually it is the fourth agreement. The fourth
4th
agreement. There is another
agreement.
book called The Fifth Agreement, but it was the
Mhm,
fourth agreement. And you're right. And you're right. We carry a lot of what we're taught from kids when we're kids,
mhm.
right? And our parents teach us what they were taught.
Yep.
So we can't blame our parents, you know?
It's our
Unfortunately,
grandparents'
some,
fault. I'm joking.
yes, yeah, some people like to blame their parents. And I feel like once you become an adult, you have to stop the blame game
Mhm.
and you have to take responsibility for what now you are going through and how, and make a decision on how you are going to overcome.
Exactly.
Now, that doesn't mean you're going to do that by yourself. You can do that with a community of people,
Mhm.
or maybe that one person you trust. But I think it's so important, especially if you're like in your, it doesn't even matter what age. I was going to say like in your 20s, but it doesn't even matter what age.
Mhm.
Like, it is so important to to heal, like to
Yeah.
heal, to heal, to heal. I feel like it would be so freeing. It's like being reborn,
Mhm.
you know? When I think of healing, I just think of releasing, releasing those things that have been holding us down, like an anchor,
Yeah.
you know? And when something is anchoring you down, there's no way you can get out of it. There's no way that you can move up, right? Someone would actually have to remove that anchor so that you can be released. And a lot of
Exactly.
times, the problems that we carry, the hurt that we carry, that's our anchor. So how do we let go? How do we heal? Right? And we can't, and one thing I've realized that we can't do it alone.
No.
I feel like when we try to do it alone, that's when we isolate the most.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I've been there, where I go through something, and for me, it's so much easy to isolate. But then I realize that when I'm on my own, there I don't get much done. I don't get much done. And then I done spent like a few days isolated. Then I finally find a friend that I can be like, I need you to pray for me. I need you to pray for me. And I need you, to just walk me through whatever it is that I'm going through, and just be with me. And it's just like, dang, I could have asked for this like 3 days ago. I've been isolated, in pain, crying,
Mhm. Yep.
trying to figure out how to get out of whatever it is that I am in. And meanwhile, I have people that love me, that are willing to pray for me, that are willing to pray over me, that are willing to speak life into me. And that's why I say that it's so important to heal in community versus alone.
Mhm. I agree 100%. I always tell you too when and I don't do it on purpose. Most of the time when I miss our support group meeting, it's because like honestly I just forgot. But ooh, that moment that I realize every time, it's like, oh, like I needed that this week. I needed that support. And it's like, it's always like a couple hours later, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I missed something today. Like I feel like heavy, But it's
Hmm.
like you don't realize how helpful it is to have that community until you're in it. Um, even you always say this too. I want you to mention it again that how many people that you share the support group to every week versus how many people that actually come, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's just, it's crazy the difference, but like you always say, like people will come when they're ready. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to do, but yeah.
I I have sent a message to about 20 women. And these are actually women who have reached out and said, I want to be a part of it. I need it. And when I send it to them, they don't show up. They don't
Mhm.
show up. And I still send it. I send it back to back to back to back every week. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I should stop sending it to them, you know? But then I'd be like, what the heck? Let me just keep sending it to them. Whenever they're ready, they'll show up,
Yeah.
And I send it to 20 women, and there's only what, 7 or 8 of us,
Mhm.
So listen, I'm fine. And I always say that the group is small for a reason. The
Mhm.
people that show up that week because they need to show up that week. There is
Exactly.
something that their soul, their heart, their minds need, that they can get in that session, in that group session.
Mhm.
I don't get upset if people don't show up. I don't, I just pray, Lord, I just pray that within the next few months you can bring in 5 more women, 10 more women, and that's it. I mean, again, it's in everyone's timing.
Yeah.
And you see how it's also said, like in the Bible, it also says like God's timing is perfect. God's timing is perfect, and everyone women will show up as they need or as they feel they should show up. Um,
Yeah.
one of the things that I always say as well is that when you show up for you, you show up for your family, right? When you work on you, you work on your family.
Mhm.
You can't pour into your family if you don't pour into yourself.
You can't pour from an empty cup. That's what they say. Yep. So true. Um, one thing I wanted to ask as well, is there like a criteria, people might be wondering, like to join the support group? Like, is there like something, I always wonder this too, like when I'm describing it to people, like I'm like, it's a support group for women who are moms, like, like I don't know.
That's a good question. When I
Yeah.
started the support group, it was intentionally for women who have had babies prematurely.
Hmm.
And that was that was it for some time. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to expand or extend it also for women who have experienced challenges with their pregnancy, prenatal depression, postpartum depression, anxiety from pregnancy, and that's how it's been, or just someone that's had some type of trauma,
Mhm.
related. I feel
Yeah.
like even when I have like guest speakers come on, you know, some may not have experienced prenatal or not prenatal, premature baby, but
Yeah.
they've experienced other losses in other
Mhm.
ways. You know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
me, what I want is just women who have gone through traumatic experiences or challenging experiences with their pregnancies, or at this point, anyone who has even gone through like a very difficult and traumatic time in their life, just to
Mhm.
join. Because
Okay.
regardless if it's women who have had premature babies, if it's women who have gone through depression, postpartum depression, anxiety, we're all going through the same thing.
Mhm.
We're all
Exactly.
going through the same pain, trying to figure out how to stay above water, how to figure out how to keep moving, how to keep healing
Mhm.
forward. It's everyone is going through the same thing. So at this point, it's just like, listen, you want to join? Let's join. Come join. You have a kid, and then you're like you're just had a baby, but you're in the process of like getting a divorce. Show up. Show up.
Yeah.
Why?
There's
Why do
lots
I
of
say
women
show up?
there. Lots of women
Why
who
do I
can.
say, yeah?
Yeah.
Why do I say show up? I say show up because you know what? When you have a kid, you may not feel the hormones like immediately, or the depression immediately, but that will creep into you and you won't even realize when it's creeping in. And you need to have someone that's going to catch you when you fall.
Mhm.
When after I had my son, I was on autopilot. So I was just go, 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 go. Meanwhile, I didn't process my pregnancy. I didn't process the birth. I didn't process anything. And here I am, you know, I didn't even process the fact that I was a mom. And here I
Yeah.
am with the baby, right? Doing what I need to do to make sure my baby's okay. If it hadn't been for my mom that started seeing some signs and actually stated maybe you should talk to someone. At first I was like, I'm fine. I don't need to talk to anybody, and then all I needed was for her to plant that seed.
Mhm.
And that seed started to grow and grow and grow. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe she's right. And I was like, I'm just gonna get some help. It's not gonna hurt. Getting therapy is a
Yeah,
good
what's the
thing.
worst thing? Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, let me get some help. And I found someone to work with, and it's been great. And I'm glad that I had someone that can see it and tell me you need
Mhm.
to seek help. Not a lot of women have that,
Yeah.
and a lot of people have this notion where therapy is a waste of time. If you're the only people that get therapy are the crazy people, which is not true. It is not true. Therapy is one of the greatest things that you can do if you go to someone that knows what they're doing.
Mhm.
Therapy is not for everyone. And when I say it's not for everyone, I would say like this. When you go to a therapist, you have to vet them. You can't just be like, all right, I found you. Let me just go months with you. No, that person may not be fit for you. That person may not be fit for your situation either. So you
Exactly.
may have to go therapy shopping. You know what I mean? Until you find until you find someone that's going to be fit for you.
Mhm.
When I started therapy the first time, I know we got a little off topic, but
It's
I'm sensing that this is something that needs to be talked about.
Mhm.
I I was so quick to like just to say no to the therapist because I felt like you don't understand what I'm going through and this is just a waste. And I was just like, next, next, and then I had to catch myself because I'm like, Liz, you can't just kick people to the curb and not give them a chance.
Yeah.
And for me, as you already know, I have a challenging time going through process, right? And I just
Yeah.
want to go from A to Z. I just want to be healed. I just want to be better. So I felt like the therapists weren't working fast enough.
Mhm.
And the fact that they weren't working fast enough had nothing to do with them, but everything to do with me, right? Because in order for them to help me, I have to open up.
Mhm.
In order for me to open up, I have to accept that I have things that I need to heal.
Mhm.
And sometimes these things are deep rooted, things that
Yeah.
are from your childhood that just trickle into your adult life, you know, and then things become triggers. So everything is connected. And I am someone who's truly, truly, truly encourages therapy and coaching. Like, if you don't want to do therapy, okay, get a coach. I also
Mhm.
do I'm a women's mindset coach. I also do coaching. So coaching, you know, coaches help you and guide you to where you want to be, to your goal. You don't want to do
Yeah.
therapy, then find a coach. You know what I mean? Um, but again, I think that we should all have someone to talk to. I don't
Mhm.
think that we should feel like we're alone. I don't think that we should just feel like I'm going to deal with it on my own. I don't need help from anybody. We all need help from someone.
Mhm. And I agree. It's hard. Um, I'll also mention, like you said, after I had my daughter, after she was stillborn, I was on autopilot. You know, like I had to come home to other kids to take care of. I needed a job because like now, um, I'm not on like what's it called when you're pregnant and you get to leave work. I can't remember right now.
Maternity leave?
Maternity leave. There you go. So like now I'm not on maternity leave anymore. I have to figure things out. I just literally autopilot, literally almost for a whole year until I realized. I was like, and like you said, like you I love that you had your mom to like plant that seed because if I had someone to plant the seed, maybe I would have sought help sooner. You know what I mean? I didn't have that. Like no one planted a seed for me. I didn't really talk to anyone else who've been through this situation to know like how I'm feeling is autopilot even. You know, I'm just thinking I'm going on with life, but it wasn't until I've done that now for probably 9 months or over a year probably, and then I just started breaking down. Then I just started crumbling. And I was like, "Wait a minute, like I didn't even stop." Like literally, Elizabeth, maybe a week after I came out of the hospital, I got a new job and started working every day, 9 to 5. And I didn't stop to slow down for a long time. And when I did, I was like, "Wow, I need to do something." And that's when I started looking for any free any free, therapy I could find, like and I was finding some, like, I would like signing up for anything, okay? Like, I was on Google, like, "Free therapy, Toronto, please help me." And I signed up for a bunch of stuff. I did one thing that I'll mention in case anyone's interested, something called the Bounce Back Program, which is a self-led, therapy for anxiety, depression, stuff like that. So I did that, and then I did another support group, which also takes place on Monday, and then I found our support group, and I kinda, like, bumped the other one out. I'm like, "I don't need y'all anymore." But, and it's like once I found the support group and like everyone starts talking about what they're going through and like even when I mentioned that I was on autopilot and so much of the other women are like, "Yes, wow, like that's something that we've done, like that's real. We're on autopilot, all of us, and you have to stop." Like that's how you get to the point of healing is to stop and think about everything that you've gone through, like and it's not comfy, obviously, to think about
Hmm.
your trauma, like you said the other women mentioned. Like, it's like scraping up a scab that's like, it's almost gone, but you rip it back open and it starts bleeding
Hmm.
again. So, um, yeah, like the autopilot and like the noticing that you need help is like the hardest thing to get past. You know what I mean? So if someone plants that seed, take the seed and run with it and look for any help that you can get because I was the same. Like I was like, "Oh, therapy." Like that would have been my thoughts like a couple years ago. Like, nah, I don't need therapy. Like I said, I'm a surface healer. You know what I mean? We don't go deep. Like I don't need therapy. We're good. I'll just move on. But
Mhm.
joining the support group was probably the best thing I've ever done for myself.
I love that you said that. But you see, also you mentioned earlier that as soon as you came out of the hospital, you were like, you got a job,
Mhm.
and it's the perfect thing for you didn't even face the challenges of what you went through, your
Mhm.
emotions, your mental state. You just went. You didn't even want to. You wanted to avoid it
Yeah,
at all costs. So okay, let me
exactly.
get busy. Let me find the job. Let me not feel. You know,
Mhm.
and all that was doing without you realizing was you were digging yourself in a hole and you were taking yourself to a dark place.
Yeah.
And I feel like at some point you were like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't. Like there's something happening in me that I know is not normal and I have to face it. And so I'm curious.
Mhm.
You mentioned that you were in another support group. So
Mhm.
what made you push that support group to the side to just stick to this support group? What was different?
It was so different. Okay, so the support group that I went to, it was also online because of COVID. So like it was also virtual, but it was ran by the hospital. The hospital that my I gave birth at. So like they were the leaders and I don't know, like it just didn't feel I didn't feel like connected. Like, like what everyone in the support group has their cameras off and like, like one of even the facilitator, since everyone else has their camera off, only one facilitator had their camera on and like it just didn't feel connecting. Like, it was fine, but once I joined our support group, I was like, "Oh, this is support." Like, you know what I mean? Like this feels good and they were like I think the other support group was at 8 and ours is at 6. So after I get out of our support group, like I don't feel like I need more support. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel full, I feel happy, I feel like tension is released. So that's why. I was just like I don't really need that one anymore. I'm good. I'm good over
I
here.
like I like that. I like that I come on and I know periodically I'll ask the ladies like, how do you like the support group? Do you feel like the support group is helping? Is there anything that I can do to improve?
Mhm.
Because again, it's not my support group, it's our support group. So
Exactly.
how can we make it better if someone doesn't feel like it's helping? Right? Because the point is, who the heck wants to join a support group that you ain't getting anything out of it? If
Exactly.
you're gonna give an hour, 2 hours of your time, you want to know that you're gonna get something out of it,
Exactly.
right? And that's for me. And I do everything as though if I were doing it. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So it's like what I would expect to get out of something, I would put the same effort in. Because I can be a little anal, but it means a lot to me when I get feedback. Especially from guys like stating this is a really good support group. Not
Mhm.
even a woman. Like obviously it comes nice to hear a woman say it, but
Of course.
a man that listens in and they're like, this is a support group?
Mhm.
Really? Are you paying for this?
Mhm.
This is good. This is coming from someone that just hears the topics that we talk about and can also resonate with him,
Mhm.
but he's not a part of the group because it's a female group. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
I think that it's so rewarding. So then I ask you,
Mhm.
from the moment you started to where you are now, because it's gonna be almost a year since you joined, because you joined May of 2023.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the difference from when you started to now? How do you feel like your life has improved?
I feel like how do I say this?
Girl,
I
just say
feel
it. Just say it. Let it out.
I don't know, like, I feel like I have just been able to relate to other women on such a deep level, um, that it's almost like it's given me the tools, you know? Like, I feel like I don't know. I did like a 360, okay? I feel like a different person than I did when I joined. I'll say that. Like I feel like I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about my feelings, about this process, about um just anxiety, depression, like things that I didn't even know before. And it's done in a way where what I like is it's done in a way where there's no pressure. You know what I mean? Like there's no pressure to show up. There's no pressure to share, but we do. You know what I mean? But we do show up. We do share and that's the thing that keeps me coming back and makes me just feel a part of something.
I like that. I like that. And it's true. I feel like based on the stuff that I have heard other ladies say, I think they all feel the same way.
Mhm.
It's not, again, it's not about pressure. It's not about putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
It's more about allowing you to feel comfortable to the point where you can actually feel, comfortable enough to be vulnerable with people you
Exactly.
don't even know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And for me, that's rewarding. You know, if I come into any type of group or anything that's new, I don't want to feel pressured. I
Mm-mm.
don't want to feel like I'm forced to do something when this is already hard. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But
exactly.
I'm confident. I'm confident that anyone who joins a support group will not leave the same. I am 100% confident about that. And I honestly, and I say this humbly, um, if women just gave themselves the opportunity to connect with themselves in a whole different way and join a support group or join my support group or join our support group, that they will never leave the same. Because again, I feel like God is doing so many things in the hearts of each and every woman, even
Mm.
myself, each week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that to me it's powerful. That's to me is powerful. Even when people come on for the first time, I let everyone talk. Let's talk. That we ain't coming
Yeah.
here to just like hear me talk. Let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even when you're a newcomer, I leave the new ones to last to the end so that they can hear all of us talk and feel comfortable enough to open up.
Exactly.
Because no one wants to be put on the spot.
Mm-mm.
And it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard. And it's okay. If you don't want to share the first time, it's okay. There's always a next time. If you don't
Mhm.
want to share the next time, there's always a third time. Like, it's not about rushing to get to the destination. It's about enjoying the process,
Mhm.
healing through the process, and moving forward.
Exactly. Exactly. It's about the journey. And like we're all in this journey called life, okay? We none of us have done it before. You know what I mean? Like we don't know how this goes. So we have to take all of our journeys and put them together so we can understand like what's happening really.
Yeah,
Like it's a lot. I'll tell you. This
it's a
life.
lot.
And I don't know how you do it, but you can always tell when someone needs to say something in the support group. Like you call it out. I can't even show up and be like sad for like 5 minutes. It's like, what's going on? And like as soon as you ask, I'm like, oh my god. She's like, I knew it. I knew it. Let it out.
That's funny.
I agree.
I want to say just maybe two things. One, I'm a feeler,
Mhm.
so I can feel when something's off. And another thing is that I don't. How do I put this? I don't get to know someone on the surface.
Mhm.
Like, this is just how I'm function. This is just who I am. If I get to know you, I'm gonna get to know you,
Yeah.
like your insides, everything, not just surface. Um, the surface is beautiful and everything, but that's nothing. What
Yeah.
matters to me is what you carry. So I feel like when you get to know someone, when you really take the time to get to know them and they show up, you can pick up. You can pick up on things, that maybe someone else won't pick up on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. And I am someone who really says that your eyes speak. I can tell when someone is not okay by just looking at you. Just
Yeah.
looking into your eyes. I can tell. You can say, "Yeah, I'm happy." I may not say anything, but I can see in your eyes what the answer truly is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, your eyes speak.
Mhm. It's true. And honestly,
You
I am
know,
terrible at hiding my feelings on my face. My face says everything, especially like I'm just bad at it.
Yeah, so like for me, I'm bad at it too. But some people can't tell.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me, Liz, I want to be where you are. I want that strength that you have, and you always showing up. You always like look fine. No, you know what I mean? I've had to build up to be the woman that I am today. And how did I build up? Through my challenges.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to break. Sometimes I just want to be like, heck with it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not how life is.
Mhm.
And we just gotta show up. And life is a learning process. We're constantly learning. And it's so important also to be open minded.
Mhm.
Open minded, because when you're open minded, you're open to receiving.
Exactly.
When you're open to receiving, your life changes. When you're closed minded and you're not open to receiving, you stay the same.
Mhm.
So I feel like every single one of the women in the support group, they're all open minded, open, ready to receive because they want a radical transformation,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So this is why we are here. And I feel like the support group is gonna grow to something even greater. And I feel like it's gonna be even much more different than what it is now. I don't know
Mhm.
how different, but I feel like it's just going to develop into something beautiful, more beautiful than what it is.
Right? Like it could get any more beautiful. I agree though. I always say this. I see the support group growing to be like this crazy safe space that women just show up to Monday nights at 6 and like I see it. We're going to join one day. There's going to be 100 boxes. And everyone's going to be like hands up, ready to share. Even like we try to keep it in an hour. Sometimes we be talking like
Yeah,
8 o'clock. It's 2 hours now. We've been talking, and like we're still like, okay, guys, like we have the other like things happening at home.
yeah, and the support group can easily go for longer. And
Yeah.
again, again, like I said earlier, when I started the support group, I didn't really know how the support group was going to be. And as the support group starts to grow, I still don't know how it's going to be. I know obviously there's going to some certain things have to be restructured because there's going to be more people,
Yeah.
and we can't be on a call for like 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours.
Yeah.
So, it's things that I've been thinking about, and when the time comes, I know God is going to guide me in the right direction. And again, I'm not alone.
Mhm.
So, you have been a great collaborator, and the rest of the women also. So It's gonna be great. I pray that women can find this group. Um, and if it's not this group, just any group
Anything. Mhm.
that will help heal them in the areas of need. We can't continue to live in a lie. We cannot continue to act like things are okay when they're not. We cannot continue sweeping things under the rug. We cannot continue putting a band aid on a deep cut.
Mhm.
We have to face the reality of what life is so that we can heal, so that we can start new relationships and not have to carry this baggage, so that we can also connect with ourselves in a whole different form.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if it happens to you, but there are times when it's just when you stand in the mirror and it's just like you're looking at yourself, or like you're passing by a mirror and you're like, damn, you look good. And then there are moments that you pass through the mirror and it's just like you don't even
You don't
recognize
even.
yourself,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're going through those moments, you're you're going through a transition.
Mhm. Yep.
It's transitional. It's like you have the old you and then you have the new you, but you're in the middle.
So you can't even recognize yourself.
Right. So when you're in a phase of transition, you don't even realize that you're transitioning, but you feel that there's a change. There's something different. Something's coming. And you don't even know how to prepare for it because you don't even know what the heck is coming.
Yeah.
But this is a time of transition. That's a word I just got. This is a time of transition. Transitional change, transformation. Listen, and if you want to be transformed, join the support group.
Yes.
You're not alone. You will be in community. You'll what can I say? Like, we respect everyone.
Mhm.
We're vulnerable. We show up. You know, um,
We
we give.
laugh, we
We
cry.
laugh. Oh my gosh, we laugh. We laugh. We cry. We joke around. We uplift. We pour into one another. Like,
Mhm.
what more could you ask for?
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't even get this from your own close friends.
Right? From your spouse.
Yeah, so it's so important to have a group,
Yes.
and every week is a different topic. We never come to the group talking about the same thing.
Nope. Nope.
Anything you want to talk about that surrounds like growing and being better.
Mhm. That's it. And I feel like I'm hoping that this episode will I'm gonna post this everywhere, but I'm hoping that this episode will bring more ladies in. I feel like in the last episode we only talked about it briefly, you know? But I feel like this whole episode is about this support group, and I feel like women are just gonna be like, huh. It's just gonna open the door, or like you said, plant the seed, right? Like I want this episode to be what plants the seed for women to get the support that they need, right? What's
Yes.
your Instagram, email, everything so they can find you. Everyone also you can message me. I can send the deets as well, but Elizabeth's information is
IG is at Live Through Coaching,
mhm,
and the email for the support group would be livethroughcoaching@gmail.com.
yes.
Or you can DM me.
Yep.
That's fine. Or reach out to Sunny,
Mhm.
Sunny in the 6.
Sunny in the 6. You got it. But I love this episode. This was so good. I can't believe it's been an hour already. Like, that's insane. Oh, I knew we would just be able to talk and it would just flow, and it's easy with you. Like, this is like literally how the support group is. Like, like we just show up, we talk about our feelings, how we're getting through the week, and what we can do to improve our lives, like essentially. And I feel like everybody can use that support.
I agree. You know, when I started this support group, one thing that I knew for sure that I wanted the support group to be different than other support groups.
Mhm.
And when I hear, this is the reason why I asked you,
Yeah.
like, why did you leave the other support group? Because when I hear like stories of why other people doesn't don't like the other support groups, I'm happy that my support group is one that women can lean on
Yes.
because it's different. I have a
Mhm.
friend who told me I am a part of a support group, but I don't like about it is that women are not authentic. They come onto the support group and they act like their life is great.
Mhm.
And so what's the purpose of having the support group? And we're just going to show up like everything is good, and so then you don't we don't need a support. We don't need a group.
Exactly.
So so she was discouraged on that group, and I invited her to join mine or ours, and she hasn't yet joined, but I'm waiting for her to join.
You know who you are. I'm joking.
That's right.
Just
Calling
kidding.
you out, not by name.
She'll join when she's ready. Probably after she sees this episode. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, dang it, I forgot." But
Yeah,
yeah, I just want everyone to know it's a safe space, and it's just it's exactly what you need. And even if you don't join our support group, join any support group if you feel like you need support. Look on Google for free therapy support in your area like I did. Like whatever you feel comfortable with, but just essentially get the support that you need because life is so much better when you do. I'll tell you the truth, okay? It is. Get out of autopilot and actually start enjoying your life.
I agree. And if you want to join the
Oh,
book
yeah.
club again, we read books that are developmental, personal growth. Um, and again, if you're someone that you don't finish what you start, like you could start a book and just read halfway through or not even half, and not get through the end of the book, this is for you. This is for you. You know, we hold ourselves accountable. We meet a few times a week to discuss the book. We read one book each month, and that's the plan is to read one book each month for the rest of the year. So that
Mhm.
would be 12 books, and if we can read more, then we'll incorporate more books. So if
Mhm.
you want to join, you can DM me, and you can DM Sunny.
Yes, same Instagrams, DM, live through coaching and Sunny in the 6. We definitely want more people in the book club too. I was thinking, like I said last time, maybe one of the book club meetings we'll do in this whole setup so we can put some of that out too so people can see it. But yeah, I think this was a great episode. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for coming through again. I'm sure we'll have 100 more of these.
It is my pleasure always. This
Yes,
was
yes.
definitely a great topic.
Definitely. I love it. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching or sorry, listening on Spotify or Apple Music, make sure you rate the podcast, leave a comment. All of that helps us. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Elizabeth. Make sure you guys message us to join the support group. We want to see all your beautiful faces. Until next time, peace out.
Bye.
Okay.